You're watching a segment of The Splash, Greater West Bloomfield's news magazine show.
We are joined by Gina Gregory, president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. And Gina, thank you so much for being with us. First of all, tell us what the Historical Society is all about.
It's about a group of volunteers since 1974, now our 45th anniversary year, who've come together to share, protect, research, and stimulate interest in our local history for West Bloomfield, Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, and Sylvan Lake.
So a pretty exciting thing has happened concerning Apple Island.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Since 2008, our president, Buzz Brown, David Rose from Cranbrook Institute of Sciences, and Joe Hoffman, then from the West Bloomfield School District Curriculum Department, thought that Apple Island was worthy of application to the National Register of Historic Places. So since that time, we've been working toward that.
So it finally happened.
It happened. We were successful. We applied.
Apple Island is now on the National Register of Historic Places.
Yes.
Okay, and there'll be a celebration coming up. Mm-hmm. And you cannot go to the, this is not like Mackinac Island or Bella Isle.
No.
This is an island that you can only go to how often?
When you make special arrangements with the school district through application. Okay. Most usually that is once a year when people take advantage of the tours that we offer. The second weekend in June is now when they are, every year, Saturday and Sunday. They can come to the museum, sign up for a boat tour. Then they take a bus to the Orchard Lake shore. Then they take a pontoon boat ride to the island, proceed around the island at their own pace, visit with presenters and volunteer docents, and then return.
Okay, so it's kind of like a 3-hour tour.
It is a 3-hour tour.
It's a 3-hour tour. And so there are you have to be at least 5 years old to celebrate that on the weekend of June 7th.
Right. That's Friday, so the tour is on June 8th and 9th.
Okay.
We also have free activities at the museum, outside and inside. So it's a nice family day. It's a nice outing. And people always enjoy walking around, just being on the island, because islands are so special.
They are. They are. So tell me a little bit about this Apple Island. What's been discovered on the island?
Well, its history is pretty interesting, and so archaeologists have proved that in beginning in 1997 and 2000 and 2008. They found Native American artifacts, which certainly show that Native Americans were there. We know that as well by just even looking at the geography. The geography of our area is very unique, and so it influences what happens in the region, and it's certainly the case here. So the headwaters of the three river systems, the Huron, the Clinton, and the River Rouge, all come together very close to Orchard Lake that has Apple Island.
And that's what makes Apple Island so special?
No.
Oh.
Beyond that, it's a very large, it's very unusual, it's very rare to have an island the size of Apple Island in a lake the size of Orchard Lake inland. So since that's at the headwaters of these three river systems, then it was a natural, safe meeting place for Native Americans. And I find that pretty unique and exciting.
Right. And the things that have already been discovered on the island are pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So tell me some of the things that have been
There's
found.
a little silver cross. It will be a trade good from the French, as well as a silver tinkle cone that was used by Native Americans in decoration garments. They've also found bones. They've also found pottery, so as well as hard-packed charred earth. So when they were doing their research work, archaeologists came to the island and said, where might a Native American go camping? Mm-hmm. They looked at the island, thought about the wind, just what would be appealing, and they said, let's dig here. And they dug down, 8 inches down, there's the hard-packed earth. So they were able to figure that out. I just think that's a pretty fun fact.
That is. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And so when you give a tour, you can say, you are standing in the place where Native Americans stood. And not often do you can you identify that so clearly as we can here.
So
it's pretty interesting. So it was a Native American site till then in 1807 when the Treaty of Detroit was signed. That changes things, and they're no longer the owners. And so after a time, then Europeans were able to buy the island, and they bought it as a private island and put a summer home there.
So it was a bit exclusive?
Certainly.
Okay.
So since 1827, it was purchased, and then homes were put on it, and it was very popular. Up to 60 people could be on the island, invited guests, as a retreat. So also interesting is this was a retreat from Detroit, because Detroit, you needed to get out to the country where it was cooler or quieter, a little recreation.
A little laid back and relaxed.
Yes,
right?
So this was that area. So there were 3 hotels here that did that, and you could take an interurban train, get out here fairly quickly. Then you could take other transportation. There was a steamboat on Pine Lake, and to take people around, and you could get to your hotel, and then you could enjoy the tranquility and of being out here.
So that's like a whole different world.
It's a whole. So this was up north. This was the getaway resort area.
Right, right.
And so, is it the same or is it different? A little of both.
Right.
We still enjoy that.
Right.
So on Apple Island, there's an area called West Point where people used to come in the evening to watch the sunset, feel the breeze, get away from the mosquitoes. Do we like to do that still?
Of course.
Yep. So that hasn't changed at all.
Okay, so Apple Island, but then the ownership eventually changed.
Right. It went through a series of hands. People no longer lived there by the 1930s. They still kept it privately, and then by the 1970, the last owner wanted to give it to have other people enjoy it. So it was given to the West Bloomfield School District for the students to enjoy as a nature sanctuary. I like the wording of that.
So it's pretty interesting. So you said second graders actually take field trips there every year.
Right, and they're out there right now.
That's very neat.
Yeah.
So they get to enjoy it. And what does it mean now that it's been declared a historic place?
Then it's on the National Register, so it's more available nationally for recognition. There's more opportunities for us to move projects forward with that status attached to the island.
Okay, and like we said, big celebration coming up the weekend of June 7th. It starts on that Friday and then runs on...
So then the trips are the next day on the Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, and registration required or no?
No, not at all. It's actually the opposite because it's weather dependent, and we just want to deal with people when they arrive to come for a tour.
Okay, and kids are welcome, but they do have to be 5 years old.
That's right.
Okay, and a fun-filled day of celebration and getting to go to a local island.
Yes.
So a very neat event, and what a thing to take part of.
Yeah, and it highlights the museum that's open. We'll have our archaeological information there with activities of a wide variety. Snacks are available. It's free. It's a great event.
Okay, thank you so much. We're looking forward to that. Congratulations again on
Thank
this.
you.
It's a milestone event happening, and we're so grateful that you came by to talk to us, so thank you.
You're welcome.
And we have been joined by Gina Gregory, president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society.
Thanks for watching a segment of The Splash. To catch the entire show or other segments, watch us on Comcast Channel 15 or AT&T Channel 99. Or look us up online at thesplash.tv and listen to us on WBLD 89.3, the all-new Lakes FM.